Unacademy. Let's crack it.
Hey everyone, a very warm welcome to the channel. And today we have a very interesting question from the house of trigonometry, compound angles. And the question is right in front of your screen. The question is asking us to evaluate the value of the given expression, right? And the time allotted is maximum 15 minutes, and ideally it can be and it should be done in 7 minutes. Okay. So pause the video and give the question a try. And after a genuine attempt, if you're not able to do, then return back to the video to have a look at the solution. So I hope you all have returned and have tried the question. So let us have a look at the solution itself as to how this question can be solved. So the concepts and formulas that are used here are that we should know tan x, tan of nx expansion formula. We should know in general what it is. It says that nc1 okay into tan x minus nc3 10 cube x plus nc5 10 power 5x minus this sum keeps on going until the ncr is defined. Okay, defined means the base, the r should be less than n, right? Less than or equal to n. If it goes more than that, then it is not defined, or you can say it becomes zero, right? So this is this basically the upper sum in the numerator is continued for as long as it can be defined. And similarly in the denominator, the pattern we are able to observe that in numerator 1, 3, 5, these are the powers. Then in the denominator, the powers are even powers, which are 0, 2, 4, and so on, right? So that's the formula we should remember. And moreover, for a polynomial equation, the sum of roots taken one at a time is obviously minus an minus 1 upon an. This is a very basic fact that we also learned in class 10th. Now, using these, how can we solve the given question? Let's have a look. So basically, first of all, what we can do is we can use cot theta equal to tan of 90 degree minus theta. So the expression will become this. Now look, the thing that we have done is cot square 81 degree I have written as tan square 9 degree. Cot square 63 degree I have written as tan square 27 degree, right? Then cot square 27 degree I have written as tan square 63 degree. And so similarly for cot square 9 degree, we have written it as tan square 81 degree. And then that's how we have formed this expression in terms of tan rather than cot. Okay. Now what we observe about these angles 9 degree, 27 degree, 63 degree, 81 degree is that they all of them are odd multiples of 9 degree, right? So all of them satisfy theta is equal to 9 times 2k plus 1 for some integer k, right? So it becomes equal to 18k plus 9. Now it is quite obvious that we should, at this point we should multiply by 10. The reason is that it will generate 180 degree, right? Right now it's just 18 degree into k plus 9. But if we generate it, why do we, want to generate 180? Because we know 180 degrees is the period of the function tan. So that's why we have multiplied both sides by 10 to get the value. Tan theta is equal to 180 degree into k plus 90 degree, right? Now, if we take tan both sides, we clearly observe that tan of 10 theta will not be defined because tan 90 is not defined. But we know that tan of 10 theta is equal to 10 c1 tan theta minus 10 c3 10 cube theta plus blah, blah, blah upon. Now look at the denominator. That is of utmost importance here. The reason I'll tell you in just a moment. So the denominator is obviously the even powers being extended. Now, this thing can only be undefined if the denominator becomes 0. Otherwise, obviously, it can't be undefined, right? So the denominator must be 0 if we want it to be undefined. And that's exactly what we have done in this step number 1. So basically, this is equation number 1. Here we have written as 10c 10 power 0 minus 10c2 10 square plus 10c4 10 power 4 minus. Okay, so this sum we are continuing with alternating signs, of course, plus minus, and the even powers, just the pattern is being followed up to 10c10 tan theta power 10. We haven't extended it further because 10c12 will be 0 only, right? So that's why we have stopped here. Now clearly this equation will be satisfied by 9 degree because 9 into an odd number 1 gives us 9. 9 into an odd number 3 gives us 27. 9 into 5, 45. 9 into 7 is 63. 9 into 9 is 81. So all the odd multiples of 9 degrees we have written, and all these theta will satisfy the given equation number 1, right? Now what we have done is we have let tan square theta as y. Why we have substituted that? Okay, so the polynomial equation becomes, look, now we have put the values of 10C0 as 1, 10C2 as 45, 10C4 as 210. Okay, so those values also we have put in the equation number 1, and we are basically getting P of y is equal to 1 minus this entire thing, 45y plus 210y square minus etc. till the end, right? Now, since we have substituted y is equal to tan square theta, tan square 9 degree will also be a root of this equation. Tan square 27 degree will also be a root. Tan square 45 degree, because these were the possible values of theta, right? 9 degree, 27, 45, 63, 81, 99, 117, all of these possible values of theta were there. So when we have done the substitution y equal to tan square theta, so the roots of this equation in y will be tan square 9, tan square 27, tan square 45 till tan square 81, right? So these are just 5 values that we have written, that these are clearly 5 distinct roots of the equation number 2. Why are they distinct? Because obviously tan square 9 can't be equal to tan square 27 or tan square 45 or tan square 81. All obviously these are all different. It is very obvious tan is an increasing function in 0 to 90 degree. So clearly it can't take the same value twice, right? So these are obviously 5 distinct values, and these 5 distinct values, all of them satisfy the equation number 2 as well. Okay, simple till here. Now, since the degree of this polynomial equation is 5, these are also the only roots of this equation, because obviously if the degree of a polynomial equation is n, it can't have more than n distinct roots, right? So since I've already shown that these are the 5 distinct roots of this equation, these have to be the only roots. There will be no other root, right? These are the set of, or these are the, A is the exhaustive set of roots of this equation. One thing you might ask is that, but there were many values of theta, like after 81 degree also we had 99 degree, 117 degree, etc., etc. So where are those values gone? What about tan square 99 degree? What about tan square 117 degree? So the thing is that these values start repeating. These values start repeating and are nothing different from the set A itself, because tan square 99 degree is equal to tan square 180 degree minus 99. Okay, and 180 minus 99 is again 81. So tan square 99 degree has the same value as tan square 81. Similarly, tan square 117 degree has the same value as tan square 63. So these values have simply started repeating, right? So that's the reason why the A is the exhaustive set of roots, the exhaustive set of values which are roots of the equation number 2. I hope this point is very clear now. Now the expression E, the original expression E that we wish to find, has now become, in short, we have written summation of 241 upon 2 minus yk minus 241 upon 2 minus tan square 45. So I'll explain what we have done here. Look, first of all, this equation number 2, the polynomial equation that we are having, we have assumed its roots to be, we are calling its roots to be y1, y2, y3, y4, y5, like that. Okay, as has been, so basically look, here also I've written, here y1, y2, y3 till y5 are the roots of equation number 2. Obviously its roots are also known. Tan square 9 degree, tan square 27, these values are also known, but we are calling them y1, like tan square 9 degree I can call y1, tan square 27 degree I can call y2, then y3, y4, y5, right? So basically E is nothing but summation of 241 upon 2 minus y1 plus 241 upon 2 minus y2 plus like that. But why have I at the end subtracted 241 upon 2 minus tan square 45? The reason is, in this summation, when you put k equal to 3, we will also get 241 upon 2 minus y3. And what is y3 from the set A? It is clearly tan square 45 degree. But in the original expression E, there is no tan square 45 term. That is missing. We need to observe that, right? So we subtract that from this summation. That's the reason why this particular term has been subtracted from this entire sum. So when you open this sum and you subtract the y3 term, you will only be left with sum of 4 terms, which directly corresponds to the value of E that we have to evaluate. Okay. So now I hope this point is very clear. So now what we have done is, clearly the value of tan square 45 is 1, right? So we have transposed that 241 to the left hand side, and we have also divided the equation by 241. Just very basic, manipulation and algebra that we have done. So E plus 241 upon 241 is equal to this particular sum, which we are calling it as F, right? Now we are using a very important technique. Whenever we have to find, sum of roots, or whenever we have to form an equation whose roots are some function of the roots already of an equation, then we simply substitute that function as another variable x. This is the technique which is taught in quadratic equations as well as polynomials chapter, right? So since I want to find an equation having the roots 2 minus y1, 2 minus y2, 1 upon 2 minus y1, 1 upon 2 minus y2. Why do I want that equation? Because if I am able to form an equation whose roots are 1 upon 2 minus y1, 1 upon 2 minus y2, 1 upon 2 minus y3, 1 upon 2 minus y4, like that, so then I'll simply be able to find the sum of the roots of that equation, right? Because right now, if I wish to calculate this sum directly using sum taken one at a time, taken two at a time, it might be a little bit lengthier and a little bit difficult to calculate, because we'll have to calculate so many LCMs, etc., right? So what we are doing is we are substituting x equals to 1 upon 2 minus y in the original equation number 2, in the equation number 2. What that does is we get y is equal to this value, right? Look, and if this value of y I substitute in the, look, here we have explained very well. P of y is equal to 0 had the roots y1, y2, y3, y4, y5. When I substitute x equal to this thing, its roots will become 1 upon 2 minus y1, 1 upon 2 minus y2, 1 upon 2 minus still y5, right? And y value obviously comes out to be 2x minus 1 upon x, because if I substitute x equal to 1 upon 2 minus y, that implies y is equal to 2 minus 1 upon x equals to 2x minus 1 upon x. So that's the value of y that I have substituted, right, in terms of x, and that equation in x will have the roots 1 upon 2 minus y1, 1 upon 2 minus y2, up till 1 upon 2 minus y5. So that's the way this procedure we have done. Now f is equal to nothing but the sum of roots of the polynomial equation p of 2x minus 1 upon x equal to 0. Obviously, because its roots are 1 upon 2 minus y1, 1 upon 2 minus y2, etc. And f is precisely the sum of those values. So we now try to simplify p of 2x minus 1 upon x equal to 0, right? So p of y we already have here, right? P of y we have already defined. So if I want to find p of 2x minus 1 upon x, y is simply replaced by 2x minus 1 upon x. So that is exactly what is being done here. Y is being replaced by that quantity in terms of x. Then we have taken LCM, basically, multiplying by x power 5 to get rid of the denominator and have it in the form of a polynomial equation. So once we are here, now a very important thing we need to note. Since we just want to find the sum of the roots of this equation, we need not simplify it completely, because that will be a waste of time. We just need to find the sum of roots. We just need what? Just two values, the leading coefficient and the coefficient of the, we can easily observe the degree of this equation is 5. So leading coefficient will be the coefficient of x power 5. And we also need the coefficient of x power 4, which we call as A4, because we have already seen the formula of sum of roots. It was minus an minus 1 upon an. What is an minus 1? It is nothing but the coefficient of x power n minus 1, and an is the coefficient of x power n. So that is exactly what we are doing here. So what we need to understand here is, we will not simplify this entire expression. The only thing we'll do is we'll first find A5. So x power 5 coefficient. In every term we find it and then subtract or add it. For example, in x power 5 the coefficient is 1. We have written that 1. The coefficient of x power 5 in this second term, 45 into x power 4 into 2x minus 1, is minus 90. And similarly, in all these further terms, we have listed those out. So plus 210 into 2 square, which is 4, then minus 210 into 2 cube, which is 8. So similarly, we have found minus 241 after simplifying. Then A4 we are finding. So A4 means the coefficient of x power 4. Obviously, in x power 5 term, it is 0. Then in the next term, it is minus 45 into 1 into minus 1 actually, right? Then only x power 4 will be generated, right? So similarly, we have kept going and simplified it for all the terms and found it to be 365. And that is all that we need. We don't need to find other coefficients, right? So f will be the sum of the roots of this equation, which is nothing but minus a4 upon a5. So that's what we have written, and we get f as the value of f as 365 upon 241, and that's what we substitute in the equation number 3, right? So once you do that, what are we getting? We are getting f from 3, we get e plus 241 upon 241 is equal to 365 upon 241. Cancel, and we finally get the value of the expression e as 124. So I hope you all really enjoyed this problem and got to learn something new. Make sure you hit the bell icon, like the video,